Welcome back to another one of our boat life lifestyle videos. This morning Riley and I thought we'd take you to go see our friend Jamie. We met him in Florida when we were down there in Fort Lauderdale, and unfortunately something terrible just happened to him and his boat, so we're going to go find out what. He hasn't told us the full story, so we're going to share the story with you.
It's summertime and living is easy.
Alright, me and Lynn are going to go to the car.
Good morning.
Guten Tag. Case. For those of you that haven't seen, Will and Lynn lent us their car. They're from the sailing school just over here, and they've been looking after the Vagabond whilst I haven't been there, and just generally being very, very hospitable legends. So thanks Will and Lynn from Charleston Sailing School.
We love you. Hey Jamie, it's Elena.
Hey Elena.
Hey, I'm just calling you. We just got food and we were on our way, and we noticed that one of our booklets was sitting on the back of the ute, and we're actually missing all of our passports, and our boat paperwork we think has flown off onto the road. We're going to be at least 15 minutes late. We're just tracing our steps. Hopefully we can find it.
But it might be in the boat.
Yeah, but it also might be back on the boat, but I'm pretty sure it might be on the road.
Okay, take your time.
Alright, cool. We'll see you soon.
Yep, alright.
See ya.
Yep, alright, bye. Good luck.
Thank you. So yeah, this is not good news, you guys. We found Lenny's health records on the back of the ute when we stopped to get food, and that meant that also the boat paperwork with all of our passports was sitting on the back. Really hoping I brought that in last night.
I really hope it's here. That's it.
Tell me. I'm eating food. Please babe, tell me, don't let me wait.
It was there.
Yeah! Thank goodness. Can you imagine we lost our passports and our boat paperwork and boat insurance?
Alright, let's go see Jamie.
Thank God, I'm gonna celebrate.
It's Lenny's fault.
I'm gonna have a wine today. Riley doesn't really believe in signs, and I do a lot of the time, and what I can take from what just happened to us is that we should be more sensitive when we interview Jamie today, because he did nearly lose his house and everything he loves is on that boat. So that's what I can gather from that.
So Jamie, where did we meet?
We met in Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
We were at Just Catamarans in Harbour Town Marina.
Hanging out with Raph and the boys, getting a bit of work done.
Getting some work done.
Shit, especially when they're pissed.
I hope that's not
Sorry. Can you document the beer abuse?
I know.
Yeah.
This is sailing vessel Saudade, and she's a Fontaine-Pajot Helia, 44 feet catamaran. There are good days in sailing, and there are bad days, and then there's sometimes very bad days. Unfortunately, I experienced a confluence of three events that, in their coincidence, caused this boat to be beached in a place called Georgetown, South Carolina. Basically, I was there, anchored, waiting out a weather funnel system going through, and finally got my weather window, and I left. And as I was leaving, I noticed that the emergency hatch, which catamarans have, at the waterline had come loose. The glass had separated from the frame of the hatch, and water was coming into the boat, and the bilge alarm started going off, and so I turned the boat around, and unfortunately I was single-handed. I had to rely on the autopilot to hold the boat on course back towards the anchorage. Went below to try to jerry-rig this hatch shut because water was gushing into the boat. While I was doing that, I was coming up and checking, make sure it was still in the channel, everything was fine. I finally got the hatch secured. I looked at the chart plotter. The chart plotter said I was on land. I ran up to the helm, and sure enough, the boat was just now becoming beached. So I could feel the boat lurch, and it was making contact with the beach. I run up to the helm, and I throw the engines in reverse. And I go to turn the autopilot off, and the autopilot was already off. The force of the current coming out of the ebb current was strong enough that it overwhelmed the engines and pushed the boat into this beach. What made matters worse, though, was this all happened at the peak of the 6th highest tide in South Carolina history. So if this had happened an hour before or after, I probably wouldn't be here. Unfortunately, because of where the boat ended up, it was a huge effort to get the boat back in the water, and it was stranded on the beach for 2 months. So that amount of time on a beach had, done some serious damage to the keels and the rudders, and then the recovery effort caused a lot of damage as well. So we basically airbagged the boat up and put rollers under it to wheel it towards low water so we could float the boat at a high tide. The boat was stern to the water, but they had rigged straps that would go underneath the bridge deck, and then they attached it to the crossbeam. They were going to just tug it into the water. Instead, what happened is the tugboat captain, he gunned it. So this tugboat is insanely powerful, and it snapped it like nothing. It ripped the eye bolts out of the crossbeam. They strapped then the crossbeam itself, and so the straps had crumpled the crossbeam like it was a burrito. So that added tens of thousands of dollars to the damage and set me back another month. I had a crisis and multiple emergencies that kind of all happened at once. The equipment failed at the worst possible time, and it has never failed in the past. And so, you assume that it's going to work when you need it the most, and it failed. We went back like the day after, took a photo of the boat on the beach, and it actually looks amazing. I mean, it was like really pretty. The beach was sunny. There was all this nice grass. The beach was perfectly smooth, and this boat looked very majestic, just sitting there on the beach.
Jamie's actually a patron of ours, so thanks for that, mate. It was good that he was able to have a laugh with us about the whole situation, especially about a large part of the problem being a safety hatch, and also the elegant and serene beach photo post-disaster. And I'd actually really love if people could comment below about the worst sea disaster you've ever encountered. You happy, Lenny?
You're adapted to the boat life already, I can tell. Yeah.
And this is Jamie's mast, which is a whole nother story.
Well, just turn the saloon back into the saloon. It should look like we lower the bed to sleep at night because it's way warmer up here. And I invited Jamie over tonight for that wine I was talking about earlier, because after hearing that story, he really deserves a wine or 10. He's going to be in that boatyard for months and months.
And that was that. Jamie's asleep in the port aft cabin because he's been staying in hotels because they won't let him stay on the boat in the boatyard. So we're just like, no, just stay here, mate. So Elena's downstairs there with Lenny, and I might jump into bed. And I'll see you all on Monday for our numbered episode.